All right, you guys, welcome to the Nobel II show. All right, thank you, international authorities. Lila Abyss, thank you so much for sharing so much of this information with us today. Now, as you already know, international authorities already wrote to remedy this particular situation for all the good people out there on the planet to be protected, right? So just deal with that for us now, and let's see if we can bring up some stuff here. Okay, so this morning we got some very interesting information. Let me see if you guys can see this. Now remember, thank you to Divine Wisdom of the Seer for this remedy. So just keep this in the back of your minds, you guys, as you go forward. 100% pure gum spirits turpentine. And some people have reported to us that they're using this and it's working out really well for them. You use it on a spoonful of sugar, 6 drops for a week until it comes out of your system. Keep doing it in the second week, 9 drops, third week, 12 drops, fourth week, 16 drops, and on a spoonful of sugar or until it comes out of you. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's see. Oh boy, let's see if we can shed some light on what's going on here. Can you guys see this? So, yeah. All right. Just read that. And then I'm going to show you some stuff. Now, I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read the whole thing, you guys. I'm just going to read some of it. There was 10 pages from this book. I'll show you the book. Okay, so this is from Pfizer. They knew about what they were planning or what they were doing 75 years ago, you guys. So this is called 5.3.6. It starts off B as in Bob, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, 162, B as in Bob 2. 5.3.6, cumulative analysis of post-authorization adverse event reports. 5.36, cumulative analysis of post-authorization adverse event reports of PF 07302048, B as in Bob, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, 162B2, 2B2 received through 28 February 2021. Now this is 38 pages. You guys can write to us here at themullings@gmail.com. I'm just going to read to you 9 pages that were highlighted and sent to us earlier. Thank you to all of you out there that are doing your research and sharing all this interesting stuff with us here. So 1P36, Appendix 1, List of Adverse Events of Special Interest. Deletion syndrome. I'm just going to read some of these things. Okay, I'm not going to read them all because it's too much, right? All right. Hydroxyglutaric aciduria, acute disseminated. I'm going to read one that I can read, right? Acute flaccid myelitis, acute hemorrhaging leukosyphilis, syphilitis, acute hemorrhaging edema infancy, acute kidney injury, acute macular outer retinopathy, acute motor axonal neuropathy, acute motor sensory axonal neuropathy. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Albert's disease, allergic bronchial pulmonary mycosis. Then you've got allergic edema. These are some of the things that was reported that they discovered or I guess invented or created in the vaccines. All right, now, Anna, this is Pfizer, you guys. Anna, hang on. Anticyclic citrulline antibody positive, anti-epithelial antibody, GAD, anti-GAD antibody positive, anti-ganglioside antibody, antibody test positive, anti-1A2 antibody positive, anti-insulin antibody increase. These are pages taken from that book I just showed you. So I'm just going to read some of the syndromes and some of the things that they have produced in those jabs. All right. Now, let's see. Can you guys see some of that? Anemia, scroll down, fistula, thrombosis. Look at that. Anti-RNA polymerase, a third antibody positive. Thrombosis, arteriovenous fistula, thrombosis, graft site. Just keep in mind the remedies that we shared on this channel prior for some of this stuff. I'm going to zoom out. Next page. All right, can you guys see that? Benign ethnic, this is the 7th page. Benign ethnic neutropenia, benign familial neonatal. Let's scroll in a bit so you can see what it says. Convulsions, benign familial. Then it says benign Rolandic epilepsy. You've got bile output abnormal, bile output decreased. Biopsy liver abnormal. And you've got blood alkaline phosphatase. You've got blood bilirubin increase, blood unconjugated, increase blood abnormal. You've got blood pressure cytolic, decreased blue toe syndrome. You've got vein thrombosis, brainstem embolism, brainstem thrombosis. Then you've got bronchial edema, bronchitis. These are some of the things that was caused by the JAB or was put in the JABs, but it looks like this may have been put in to all of them probably 75 years now, right, or more. Cardiac ventricular thrombosis. Then you have, scroll up here, infantile enterocolitis, autoimmune myocarditis. You also have arthritis, enteropathic, aseptic, sinus thrombosis, aspartate, abnormal. You've got glutamate transporter deficiency, AST. Then you have the asthma, asymptomatic COVID-19. It was all put in, right? I said epilepsy already. Let's go to the next page. So I'm just going to scroll down. You guys can briefly see some of the stuff that was put in that jab, right? Pfizer. All right. Hang on a second now. Okay, so on page 9, you have, I'll read it to you now, chronic spontaneous urticaria, circular collapse. You've got circummoral swelling, clinically isolated syndrome, clonic convulsion. You've got Cogan syndrome, cold, positive cold type, hemolytic, anemia, colitis, corrosive, colitis herpes, colitis microscopic, colitis ulcerative, collagen disorder, collagen vascular disease, complement factor abnormal, complement factor C1, decreased complement factor C2, decreased complement factor C3, decreased, and those of you guys writing to me, please, dear God, do not write to me sarcastically, because some of the people that we know in this community has taken that and since met their demise. Some of the people we know personally, so just, yeah, be mindful of that when you're writing to us here, right? Complement factor abnormal, complement factor C1, factor C4, decrease, complement factor decrease, computerized, tomogram liver, congenital herpes simplex infection, congenital synthetic syndrome. You also have pneumonia listed in here. I just read that a second ago. Coombs positive hemolytic anemia, coronary artery disease, coronary artery embolism, coronary artery thrombosis, coronary bypass, thrombosis, and then you have the coronavirus infection, coronavirus test negative, coronavirus test positive, corpus, cough, variant asthma, seal, the V19 immunization. You have pneumonia, CV19. You got the treatment, cranial nerve disorder, cranial nerve palsies, multiple cranial nerve paralysis, CREST syndrome, Crohn's disease. And you've got cutaneous lupus. You have cytokine storm. Let's scroll down and see what else there is here. You've got eczema, embolia. You have embolism. Yeah, I'm going to go to the next page. Okay, you guys can see this one is page 6. There's anemia and pneumonia, hepatostin abnormal, hepatic artery embolism, artery flow decreased, hepatic artery thrombosis, hepatic enzyme abnormal. You have glossopharyngeal nerve paralysis, glucose transporter type 1 deficiency. You also have diabetes in here. I read that earlier too. Syndrome, glutamate dehydrogenase increase, glycocholic acid increase, GM2, Goods pasture syndrome, graft thrombosis. I didn't even know some of these things existed. I don't even know what half these things are. I never heard of this stuff before in my whole life. Toxicosis, Henoch, and then you've got what's this? SCHONLEIN, purpura nephritis, hepatic artery embolism, hepatic enzyme decreased. Let me just go up. Genital herpes zoster, generalized tonic-clonic seizure. Non-motor seizure. Let's go to the next one. I really want to see what's at the top. Hang on. Over to the next one. You've got epilepsy, different forms of epilepsy, Evans syndrome, exanthemia. You've got expanded disability status scale score decreased, expanded disability status scale score increase. And I was saying to the international authorities, Indigenous people can't take any this stuff like this because they use herbs and stuff to heal their bodies, right? And those of us out here made disabled can't be subjected to this either, right? Fat embolism, febrile convulsion, febrile infection-related epilepsy syndrome, Felty syndrome, femoral artery embolism. Yeah. Okay. Flushing, foaming at the mouth, focal cortical resection, focal dyscognitive seizures, foetal distress syndrome, foetal placental thrombosis. You also have abortions in here. I read that earlier. Something about the galactose elimination capacity test abnormal. Yes, and it is the movie Galaxy Quest. It's right at the stage where you're going through Omega 13. That's what this is about. Ooh, all right, so let's go to the next page. This is page 5. You got infection. You have all of these different variants. Look at it, you guys. You've got human. Oh, dear God. Ooh, read it, people. Wow. You've got wow. Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, IgA nephropathy, IgM nephropathy. Third, nerve paralysis, nerve paresis, artery embolism, immune mediated adverse reaction, immune mediated cholangitis, immune mediated endocrinopathy, immune mediated enterocolitis, immune mediated gastritis, immune mediated hepatic disorder, immune mediated hepatitis. Hepatitis, you guys. Is that AIDS? HIV? Immune mediated hypothyroidism, immune mediated hypothyroidism, immune mediated myocarditis, immune mediated myositis, immune mediated nephrititis. Scroll down, see if there's anything else here. All right, so you got polymervirus test positive, JC virus CSF test positive, juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, juvenile polymyositis, juvenile psoriatic arthritis, juvenile spondyloarthritis, Kaposi, sarcoma, inflammatory cytokine syndrome. You've got Kawasaki disease, Kayser's Fleischer ring, keratoderma. And you know why I'm reading this, right? So many people have taken this thing and don't know what's in it and don't understand what's happening. So for us here, those of us who are homeschooled, this is a record of what's gone on so we know what's happening and how to proceed, right? Going forward. All right, let's see now. Lemire syndrome, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, leucine, and lupus is in here as well. Aminopeptidase, and it just reminded me of people who've passed on many moons before even this stuff started, who had things like lupus and other things mentioned on this list that we thought was something totally different, not realizing that they were given this stuff. Yeah, Liver function test increased liver induration, liver injury, liver iron concentration abnormal, liver iron concentration. All right, so that's that one. Let's go on to the next page. Okay, this is page 4, increased liver opacity, liver palpable, liver liver scan abnormal, liver tenderness, low birth weight baby, lower respiratory tract infection, viral lung abscess, leukoid hepatitis, lupus cystitis, lupus encephalitis, lupus enterocarditis, lupus enteritis, lupus hepatitis, lupus microcarditis, lupus mycosis, lupus nephritis, lupus pancreatitis, lupus pleurisy, lupus pneumonitis, lupus vasculitis, lupus like syndrome, lymphocytic hypophysitis, lymphocytopenia, neonatal lymphopenia, magic syndrome, magnetic resonance imaging, liver abnormal, magnetic resonance, proton density fat fraction measurement, Mailer sign, manufacturing, laboratory, analytical testing issue, manufacturing materials issue, manufacturing production issue, Marburg's variant, multiple sclerosis, Marchia fava, big namey disease, marine Lenhart syndrome, mastocytic enterocolitis, maternal exposure during pregnancy, medical device, site thrombosis, medical device, vasculitis, MELAS syndrome, meningitis, aseptic meningitis, okay, all right, okay, MERS-CoV, read those already, MERS-CoV test negative, MERS-CoV test. Okay, so you got Crohn's disease, read that already, migraine-triggered seizures, you have Middle East respiratory syndrome, mixed cognitive tissue disease, model for end-stage liver disease score abnormal, model for end-stage liver disease score increase, molar ratio of total branched chain amino acid, monouropathy, multiplex, Morvan syndrome, mouth swelling, Moya disease, multifocal motor neuropathy, multiple organ dysfunction syndrome, multiple sclerosis, read that already, and let's just scroll down, myoclonic epilepsy, ragged red fibers. I don't even know what that is. Nasal obstruction, neonatal Crohn's disease. Okay, and then you have neuritis, cranial, and I guess there's supposed to be different forms. And yeah, neoinfective encephalitis, embolism, pulmonary embolism, and then you've got occupational exposure to SARS, CoV-2, then you've got edema blister, edema due to hepatic disease, edema mouth, artery thrombosis, ophthalmic. Wow. All right, next page. page 3, penile dysfunction, abortions on this page, pneumonia. All right, optic peritonitis, oral lynch and planus, spasms, swelling, ovarian vein thrombosis, overlap syndrome, pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with streptococcal infection, Paget-Schroeder syndrome. Let's scroll down a bit. You got partial seizures with secondary generalization, patient isolation, pelvic venous thrombosis, penile vein thrombosis, paraphatic discomfort, paravital edema, paravital swelling, peripheral artery, lupus. Then you've got parietal fluid protein, peripheral vein thrombs, extension, and then let's go down and see what else is on this list. You've got pneumonia, measles, pneumonia viral, pneumonia influenza. Wow, you have portal vein flow decreased. You have post-procedural pulmonary post-thrombotic syndrome, post-paralysis, post-operative respiratory distress, post-operative respiratory failure, post-operative thrombosis, postpartum thrombosis, postpartum venous thrombosis. Then you've got post-traumatic epilepsy, post-oral orthostatic something or the other syndrome. Then you've got, scroll down to the end, let's see what's on the bottom. Product distribution issue, product supply issue, progressive facial, so all this stuff was pre-planned, procedural shock, proctitis, ulcerative, product availability issue, progressive relapsing, multiple sclerosis, prosthetic cardiac valve thrombosis, puritus allergic, pseudovasculitis, psoriasis, psoriatic, arthropathy, pulmonary amyloidosis, pulmonary artery thrombosis, pulmonary embolism, pulmonary fibrosis, pulmonary hemorrhage, pulmonary microbiology, pulmonary oil microbialism, pulmonary renal syndrome, pulmonary sarcoidosis, and pulmonary thrombosis. You've got pulmonary tumor thrombotic microangiopathy, pulmonary veno-occlusive disease, pulmonary venous thrombosis. All right, on a lighter note, you guys know we have some chickens here, right? We made the mistake of letting out the 2 sets of chickens at the same time, not realizing, totally forgot that they were fighting chickens. Literally, the roosters went at it, you guys, on a level that was just mind-blowing. I couldn't believe it. We're going to fight to the death. Oh, boy. Luckily, they survived. I've never seen anything like that in my life. You let them out thinking they're going to just roam free and have a good time. No, they immediately fight. You couldn't even break them apart. We had to figure out a way to get them back in their cages. It was unfreaking believable. Anyways, let's go on to the next page, shall we? Page 2. Can you guys believe this though? I've never in a million years thought I'd be out here reading this stuff from a company that people trusted like food. I just cannot make sense of this, brachial radiologically isolated syndrome. This is page 2. This one has renal thrombosis. All right, radiologically isolated syndrome, rash, erythematosus, rash, pruritic. Let me bring it down a bit so I can see. Okay, so you've got Rasmussen encephalitis, Raynaud's phenomenon, reactive capillary endothelial proliferation, relapsing multiple sclerosis, remitting multiple sclerosis, renal amyloidosis, renal arthritis, renal artery thrombosis, renal embolism, renal failure, renal vascular thrombosis. You guys, we don't know anyone out here personally, but just people that email us and stuff. So when you guys are writing to us asking us if we know this, we don't know them personally. We just listen to some of the information and research that they've done and get to share some of the stuff with you guys, right? Renal vasculitis, renal vein embolism, renal vein thrombosis, respiratory arrest, respiratory disorder, respiratory distress, respiratory failure, respiratory paralysis, respiratory syncytial virus bronchitis, respiratory syncytial virus bronchitis, retinal artery embolism, retinal artery occlusion, retinal artery thrombosis, retinal vascular thrombosis, retinal. I can't read any more of this, you guys. It's too much. Honest to God, I'm reading it and it's just becoming a little bit, yeah. I'm just going to scroll down the page so you guys can see what else is here. Seizures, what have you, pneumonia again, and different variants of different strains of this, that, and the other, right? The other 2 pages, I'm just going to scroll over it so you guys can see what it says, right? This is page 1. Okay, I'm just going to go over the page so you can see what it says, right? Take your time, pause the video, and read it, right? So you know what's going on. All right, now you guys can write to us. You guys can visit us on Boon TV. We just uploaded there some stuff for you guys can join us for as low as $5 a month. You can become a bronze member, or $15 for a silver member, or $15 for a gold member, right? And then this is what we've uploaded over on Boon TV, so you can go over there, you guys, to see more of what's going on, okay? And you guys can go over to Teespring Nobel to get some of our merch, you guys. We have our Nobel merch, our Conscious Clothing merch, and our American Indian Warrior American National line. And God Wings, we have that line as well too. So you can go over there. We'll put this in the description below. And our roses, you guys. So rose. And then you can, I hope you guys can hear me because I'm talking kind of soft. Shocking. All right. So you guys can visit us on our website. You guys can write to us there, right? You can join us on our daily email group. You can join our online tutor school class. And you can watch us on Nobel II. See you over on Boon TV. Remember to like, share, subscribe. And for a private email consultation, yes, we have to ask for donations for our time and research. And yeah, you can get all this writing, you guys, with a whole list of a bunch of stuff, books and different documents and stuff that was sent to us over the years. So you can write to us for those. And they're really like low bucks. Some of them are dollars, a couple dollars, whatever. Not a whole lot. And so to set off matters, you guys can write to us for child support cases, mortgages, foreclosures, ticket citations, auto loans, student loans, warrants, and for those of you having to see an agent doing business, parole officer, as well as those of you in the churches doing business as jails for nonviolent offenses, you can email us at themullings@gmail.com. The GSA bond templates to set off matters, and the 1099 OID to get back the finances they claimed you owed. And if you like what you hear here in terms, and you wish to contribute to us for us to be able to continue our research, you can support us and by going to PayPal at themullings@gmail.com. And yeah, so that was what we received today. Thank you again to Leela Abyss, Horatio Bay, Copper Aborigines, Ice Tree Roots, and Divine Wisdom of the Seer. Thank you for that remedy, because so many people have written to us and stated they're using it and it's working. It has worked for them. And again, you guys, it's 100% pure gum spirits turpentine. You use it on a spoonful of sugar, 6 drops for a week, until the stuff comes out of your system. This was for bots and stuff. But people are using it for other stuff and it's working. And so thank you for that. So you do keep doing it. Second week, 9 drops. Third week, 12 drops. Fourth week, 16 drops on a spoonful of sugar until it comes out of you. And it will come out of you. Yeah. And remember, we always talk about 32% food grade hydrogen peroxide here. Just a pin drop with distilled water, and a whole host of other herbs and stuff and remedies. I heard one yesterday that was sent to me. It's called Catch Barrel, which is good for the eyes apparently. Now remember, everybody's system is different. And he said to mix it with something. I'm going to put the link to that video that they sent to me from a bushman here in this territory, because it appears that a lot of what we think are weeds that we pick out of our garden and discard and throw away, each one of those herbs, those plants, are actually herbs that have different remedies for different things. And I was shocked to hear that there's an actual herb that his mother apparently used when she was about to give birth, or while she was pregnant. Hence, she had 19 children pain-free. It's this thing that, this herb that they use for the womb, to make the womb open up so you can have your children pain-free. That being said, we know that there's some of us out here that can literally look at the thing and give birth in 5 minutes and don't even know that we've given birth. So I know that there's that too. All right, so like, share, subscribe. You guys have yourself a great day, and thank you again for watching, and thank you for supporting us here. And I want to put a hedge of protection on all that is good globally, and thank you to the international authorities. Thank you for all that you've done for us here. So just follow through with everything we shared with you prior and today. Thank you again, and thank you, Leela Abyss. Hugs and kisses to you, my friend, and thank you, Tracy Rockamore.